Hey there, beautiful friends. Call here. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I have a fun project for us today, guys. I don't know if you remember, but I recently did a product unboxing for a company called Beebeecraft. So we had in our Beebeecraft, we had these components. We have these little moons, and then, well, they're not little, but and these what I think look like kind of like timepieces, like almost like stopwatch type things. And then we also had some crystal drops, which I've already sorted. Crystal drops, we had crystal discs, and we also had all of these amazing little crystals, right? So I went ahead and I put together, I don't want to call it a sun catcher because I really wouldn't really say it's a sun catcher per se. Maybe a window dangle or a mirror dangle. This would be a little long for a car mirror, but you could certainly shorten it up, make just this part a car mirror. You can hang it on like your curtain rods. You can hang it on mirrors inside of your home. You could just wherever you want to hang it. But I just thought it was just a fun, just interesting piece. And we also received this wire. So I was also testing this Benecreat wire, which I will tell you, it is dead soft. And I'm not used to working with a dead soft wire. So it has been a little bit tricky to say the least, but I think we did okay. Our wraps came out okay. And so we did a little bit of wire work down here. Just simple, basic stuff, but just so cute, right? So guys, you can certainly make this with stuff from your stash. But if you want to make it exactly like this with these exact components, I will link all of that information and those links in the description box. Guys, I also have a coupon code that is Colleen10, and that is COLLEEN, and then the number 10, and that will save you 10% off of your purchase. And guys, you can use that as much as you want. It doesn't expire. So, well, it does, but not anytime soon. So go ahead and use that 10% off. It'll be good. So yeah. So let's see. For this project, we are going to need, let me bring in the stuff. We are going to need 2 drops. We are going to need 6 of these crystal cylinders. These are so, so pretty. You're going to need a moon, and you're also going to need one of the timepieces. Some rondelles of your choice from that strand. Guys, if you don't want to use the rondelles, you don't have to. That's for, where is my, oh, that's for this portion. You can do whatever you want with this portion. You can use monofilament, you can use ribbon, hemp, cord, anything, leather, whatever you want to do, you can certainly do. But for all intents and purposes, we used bead stringing wire, and we just did a fancy little loop. Decorative. It's just very decorative. You will also need some wire. Like I said, we are using this. This is a 20 gauge dead soft wire. So if I look like I'm struggling, it's because I am. We're also going to need some oval jump rings. Guys, if you don't have oval jump rings and you just have the regular variety, that is perfectly okay. And you're going to need a crimp tube if you're going to be doing this with the beads. Up here, you're going to need a crimp tube and also some bead stringing wire. And we're going to use this beautiful color blue because I had an idea, my friends. I had an idea. I thought this is going to be just slightly different because I'm going to add a second drop to the bottom. But I thought this would be a really pretty, like a gradient, since we have this crystal drop. We're going to start out with a crystal clear drop, and then we have a crystal disc, and then we're just going to do a gradient. So we're going to have our first 3, and they're going to go from, you know, we're going from lightest to darkest, and then we're going to put our component in here, and then we are just going to continue that light to dark pattern like we did here, and we're going to do this little swirly doodad. And then we're going to end it with this drop because this drop is the same color as this last one. So we're starting with the same color, and then we're ending with the same colors. So I thought that would be a cool little gradient, and we are using these gorgeous like light pale blue rondelles. All right, I thought that would be real cute. Real cute. Tools, you are going to need a ruler. Hold on, let me clean up my mess. I always have to grab like extra crimp tubes and stuff because, you know, just in case. Just in case. All right. So tools, you're going to need a ruler. You're going to need some round nose pliers. You're also going to need a set of chain nose pliers. You will also need some cutters, of course. We're going to cut some wire. I'll cut the wire. You're also going to need crimping pliers. If you're doing this top decorative part, you're going to need some crimping pliers. And if you have some of these like nylon jaw, like you know, pliers and doodads here to straighten that wire, those are really helpful too. Yeah, there it went. Ooh, there it went. Okay. So let us start, shall we? Let us start. Let's take this and put this over here. And let's cut us some wire. So yeah, I really like how this is going to look. So let's put these to the side. And right now we are going to work on our moon and our crystal. This will be the first part of our design. I'm going to cut probably an obscene amount of wire for the simple fact that I don't know how much I'm going to need, because I didn't write the measurements down because I forget. So let's just cut like that much. 7 inches. We'll say 7 inches. I think that's good. All right. So this is where you want to do your little straightening of the wire. So get your, if you have some of these with the teeth in them, that holds on with that wire really, really well. And then we're just going to take our nylon jaw pliers and we're going to straighten this wire out. And this is also going to work harden it a little bit, which this wire could really use because it's very soft. It's almost like working with like liquid. I know that probably sounds real dramatic, but it's how I feel because I'm just not used to it. Sorry, that was loud. I got to work on that, putting the tools down. Okay, so we're just going to snip off a little end because I like things flush. I like things flush. All right, so we are going to make a knotted head pin. So you could also, guys, if you have, now you probably couldn't, because if you want to do this top wrap, I don't think you would have enough wire on a really long head pin to do that with. So you're going to have to do it this way if you want to make the little hat. If you want to make the hat, then you got to have the wire. All right, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to put our wire inside of our round nose pliers, making sure that that is nice and flush against the jaws and it's not sticking out. Okay. And then we're just going to go ahead and we're just going to start turning a loop like we would on an eye pin, except when the wire comes up, you see how the wire is coming up? We're just going to continue to turn it. Okay. Oops. Try to keep it on the tool. I was paying attention to the video to make sure I was on camera and I took it off the tool. Oh my goodness. Let's just try that one more time. This time I have to pay attention to what I'm doing. So if I'm off camera, I'm just going to have to pay attention. Okay. Flush up against there. Turning that loop. I hope I'm on camera. Okay, so far so good. Turning that loop. We're going to continue as the loop comes up. We're going to continue to turn it until we see it come up for a third time. See how are we on camera? There we are. See how we're seeing it come up there? You don't want to let your wire go past that. So when you get to this point, you're going to just take your wire and you're just going to bend it up. I just bent that up with, where are we? I just bent that up with my thumb, right? I just bent that wire up. And then this is what it looks like on the tool. Now I'm going to take it off the tool. And you have this spiral guy, right? And that is our thing. So, but we're not finished quite yet. So we're going to say this is like a sock, right? And this is his foot. So he wants to go ahead and bend his knee and put his foot in his sock, right? The foot is in the sock. Then we're going to take our nylon jaw pliers and we're just going to go ahead and we're going to nestle them right up against that spiral that we made. Well, wrap. We'll call it a wrap, I guess. I don't know. And then we are going to take these teethy pliers. We're going to grab the end of that. It kind of looks like a lasso. And we're just going to pull. And we're not pulling so hard that we're just yanking stuff around. We're pulling just hard enough to bring that knot down, right? Nice and snug. And this is, that's not quite. Let's pull just a little bit harder because we want that to almost resemble like, there we go. You will feel it snap. Okay. That's just nylon from my nylon jaw pliers. But this is what you will have. Kind of looks like a rosebud. Hopefully we're focusing. Let me see. Focus, focus, hocus pocus. Okay, I don't know if it's focusing, but that's what we have. Okay. With the nylon from my nylon jaw pliers. So now we have made ourselves a really extra fancy long head pin. So we're going to take our drop. Just going to go ahead and drop. We're going to just cut this little, it's a little hook here. Let's cut that little hook off. Not a problem. We're going to put our drop on. Right. And now we are going to make a wrapped loop. And then we're going to continue the wrap on down to the drop. All right. So we're going to put our pliers here right up against the bead and that wire. And then we're just going to bend that wire. Just going to bend the wire right over the tool, right? We're just bending the wire over that tool, creating a space. And then we're going to fill that space in with a loop and a wrap, a whole bunch of wraps, right? So we're going to take our pliers here. Now, guys, this is too where you want to decide if you want to put a jump ring here to attach it, or if you want to attach that straight onto the component. I am going to use a jump ring just because these drops really aren't that long. And so I want it to hang nicely. So we are going to add a jump ring. So you don't have to worry about connecting this to the, unless you want to, of course. You can if you want. Okay. So we're just going to take our pliers in here. And we're going to take this wire and we're going to go up over the pliers. And we're going to take our hand and pivot. And then we're going to take the wire and continue that course, changing hands. And now you will see that you have formed a loop. You can go ahead and center this now, however you want to do it. And then we're going to start wrapping. You can use your tools here if you want. You can use your hands. We're just going to finger wrap it because this is really, really soft wire. Okay. We're just going to do some tight wraps in here. And then we're just going to keep following the path of the wrap. And it's going to go down the bead, and it's creating this nice little hat, right? And then when we get to the point where we think that's hattish enough and we're running out of wire, we're going to take this wire, and then you can take it off the tool now. We're going to take this wire, and you can hold it by this tool if you would like. Let's see, which side do I like better? I think I kind of like this side better. We're going to take that wire, and we are going to bring it up, right? We are going to bring it up across the top and around this loop. And trying to hold that all together around this loop. I'm going to go around one time. Hold that if you have to. I'm going to go around one time. Then we're going to take this wire to the back, right? And that's where we're going to cut it. I'm going to come back here and we're going to cut that. I hope that came up okay. All right. Put my scrap can over here. And then we're just going to find the little parts and close them down. All right. Okay, so then this is what you will have. You'll have your little wrapped guy, and he's got this little decorative swirly do on the top. So that's what he's going to look like when he hangs. Right? Because they're hanging, their loops are the same way. So now we're going to use one of those oval jump rings. Sorry for reaching. That's ignorant. I apologize. And we're going to go ahead. And you don't have to use the oval jump rings. I just wanted to use them because I kind of like the flow, how it kind of just, I don't know, just kind of flows with this. We're just opening. Now you would open and close these the same way you would with the round ones, just side to side. Okay. We're going to go ahead and we are going to attach our moon. All right. Make sure he's hanging like we want him to hang. We are just going to close that jump ring, sorry. Making sure that's nice and closed, okay. Oh my God, look, it was on the other side of the component. Oh my God, Kyle, why do you do that? Like, seriously, why do I always have these problems when I'm filming? Like, I've never had this problem. No, but when I film, sure. What happened is the jump ring went over the component. So now I need a new jump ring. That's okay. That's okay. That's okay. I brought a couple extra. Brought a couple spare. For these reasons. Where is your hole? Where is your opening? There we go. Okay. Let's try this again. Okay. Booty boot. This is where things get tricky. Laying it down so you can grab it. And when I did that the first time, it hooped over that, it hooped over that, that loop. See that loop in there? It's misbehaving. Getting in the way. Getting all hurly-burly. Oh my goodness. Sometimes I don't know how these oval jump rings work. Like, I know how they work, but... Excuse me, I'll be out of focus for 1 second because I can't see what I'm doing. Okay, no, it was closed. All right. So there we go. After much rigmarole, there we have that. All right. All right. So now we have to cut some. So we're going to start making some links. So I am going to cut about... I'm going to cut about this much wire. About 15 inches. Or 16 inches rather. And then I'm going to cut that into four 4-inch pieces. So hopefully I did that math right. Hopefully we get that. I think I cut a little more than 16, so we might actually get 5 out of this. I don't know. Okay, that's fine. That one can just be extra long. We'll save this one for the end piece. I don't know if that's actually long enough, but we'll see. All right, so now we are just... I also had some cut here off to the side. Now we are going to be making our links. So now these are individually wrapped, but they are connected to each other. Other than the jump ring connecting it to the moon, there are no jump rings. So these are all going to get connected right to each other. So let's work on our patterns. So this one is first, our crystal one. So we are going to make some wrap loops here. So we're going to take our pliers and we're going to go ahead and not quite halfway down. Maybe that much down, not quite halfway. Bending the wire over the pliers. And we're going to come in here with our round nose pliers. And we're going to go ahead, turn our loop. Shuffling our hands about. Bringing it around. And we can straighten it up here. Do all those things, guys. I'm going to turn my fan on real quick. It is getting really toasty. I just turned the air off because I thought it was getting nice. And I was mistaken. Okay, so now we're going to take our other pliers and we're just going to do like, let's do like 3. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to do some 3 wrapped loops there. Okay, and this is what you should have. Now we're going to go ahead and cut that. Right. And then we're just going to go ahead. Maybe I did 2 in the other one. Well, this one we're going to do 3, guys. And if they get a little crazy, you can go ahead and just take your pliers and scrunch them up. These guys look pretty good. Again, dead soft wire. So it's a bit of a learning curve for me. So this is what we have. Way too much wire. We really didn't need this much wire, but that's what we have. So we're going to put our first one on. And then we're going to go ahead and we're going to take our pliers, and now we kind of have to estimate how much space is here so we can make a wrapped loop that's going to have the same amount of wraps. So you gotta have to kind of estimate that on your pliers. So we're going to go ahead, going in the same direction as our other loop, and estimating that space. It doesn't have to be perfect, guys. It's not like jewelry. It's not, you know, if it's 2 wraps instead of 3, which this looks like it might be, it's all right. It's all supposed to be organic and flow. Okay, so we're going to go ahead over the dude and around, bringing this back around, switching hands. Now here we can go ahead and line all this up. Make sure that's all nice and looking good. And then we'll start our wraps. So maybe we will get 3 wraps in here. 2, 3, or maybe 4. Maybe that was too much, but that's okay. That's all right. Nobody's counting. This is just kind of free form. Do whatever you want. You know? It doesn't have to be complicated. It can just be however you feel. That's all. Right? We're not making anything complicated. We're just making something fun. Right? That's all. Something we can hang somewhere. Maybe in your office, you know. Or maybe you can give it to a friend, you know, that doesn't wear jewelry. And maybe you've been looking for a cool project so you can, you know, gift them with little prezzies too. This is a great one. This is a great one for friends that don't really wear jewelry. Friends like me. I do wear jewelry, obviously. I have bracelets on, but I don't wear a lot of jewelry. I love gifts like this. All right, so this is our first one. And so now we're going to actually connect our next one onto him. So we're going to get another piece of wire. And we're just going to continue this process. If you need to straighten it out a little bit, do that. Okay. So we're just going to take it about, not quite halfway, about there, bending the wire over the pliers. We're going to go ahead, put our round nose pliers in. Going to turn the wire like we do. Now when we get to this part, we are going to bring the wire over, but we're not going to close that yet. We're just going to leave it like this, and actually we're just going to go ahead and just open that a little bit on the tool. Right? Just want to open that just a little bit because we're going to sneak this guy in there. And it doesn't matter what side you sneak in there. And we're just going to go ahead and we are going to close that loop. Right? And we're going to hold it with these pliers or whatever pliers. And then we're just going to go ahead and make our wraps in here. Right? Doing with my fingers. So that's what we have. Come into the back. I'm going to cut that off. Sorry about all the noise. I stopped using the larger bead mat because, I don't know, I'm just trying to be, I don't know, different. I'm trying to have my own look, you know? And then when I put my tools down, they sound really loud. So I don't know if we're going to keep this set up. We'll see. Okay. We're just pushing that little end down. So now we have ourselves a connector. And now a connection. And now we're going to do our next lightest color, which is this guy. Okay. And again, we are going to be following the same loop trajectory as the previous loop. And maybe we won't go so far up on the pliers, so then this one will actually be a little bit closer to the goal. Okay. Putting our wire up and over, doing the roll of roll, continuing, switching hands. There we go. It's like a little dance. Okay. And we're going to make sure that loop is nice and pretty. And we're going to start our wraps. See? And we got just the amount that we needed in this one. Don't force it, guys. When it's done, it's done. When it tells you no, then that's it. You don't want to force it, okay? That's never good. Don't ever force. You should never force anything. Relationships, ponytails, farts, nothing. Don't ever force nothing, okay? It's never a good idea. You got to let it come naturally. Okay, so we're just going to go ahead and we're just going to close this little pokey outie. Okay, maybe. There we go. There we go, buddy. Okay. So this is what we have. We have now connected 2 pieces together. So we're going to make our third connection. And this one we are also going to connect here. And then we are going to, where are you, my friend? Oh, this guy. We're also going to connect it to this guy. Okay. So again, let's do maybe, is this a long enough piece? Yeah, I think it'll be fine. So again, we're going to come down here, not quite halfway, bending that wire over the pliers, making that bend, that angle, bringing in the round nose pliers, up and over, right? Yeah, but we're not closing that yet. I'm just going to take that off the tool if you want and just open it ever so slightly. And we're going to connect. And that's just going to connect right on there. Okay. And we're going to go ahead and close it back down. Okay. And then we're just going to go in here and we're going to make our wrap. So that's 1, 2, 3. Okay. So that should be good. And like I said, if it gets a little, this one's a little bit, that's all right. We'll fix it when we cut it. We'll fix it. So you can go in here, you can just take your pliers and take the 2 and just kind of squeeze it up a little bit. And that will bring all of your friends back together on the same page again. Okay. That'll just bring everybody back in. Because people sometimes act like they don't know each other. Why don't you want to close, buddy? Sometimes you just go around with your pliers, okay? All right, so now we are putting our final color in this threesome. That is not closed. I hate when it does these little snaggle tooths. Just cut him. Is he big enough to cut? No. Okay. There we go. No, that's not good either. That's all right. Now we can cut him. Can we? No. Still stuck on the... Man, look at you. What happened here? What happened with you, my friend? What happened? See how ugly that is? Okay. I'm just trying to bring it down enough so I can cut it. There we go. Now we go. Okay. I was going to give this to someone. Okay. That's better. Sorry about that. Whew. I don't even know if I was on camera with all that, but that was a struggle. All right. So we have that. Now we're going to go ahead following this loop's path. Are we following this path? Hold on. First, let's see which direction this loop needs to be in. So, this is going to go on a jump ring. So this is going to hang like this. Yep. That's exactly the way we want it to hang. That is correct. That's why I did 3 there. So they would all hang nicely. That's what I did. Okay. Going down here. Taking that wire. Bending that over the pliers. Making that angle. Loop-de-loop. Now guys, don't close this one yet either, because we are going to be connecting something there. Take that off the tool, and if you want, you can go ahead and just open that slightly. Then decide, I kind of like, and this is 2-sided, so I like the star on the top part, so put that on there, and that should connect right in there. Okay. Now this might be a little tricky, not too tricky, just a little tricky. Go ahead, take those pliers and close that loop down, right? So that's not going to escape. Then we're just going to go ahead, and this is kind of the tricky part because, you know, it's probably better if you do this with pliers, but we're just going to wing it with our fingers. Right. But I'm sorry. But it probably would work better with pliers. Okay. So there we have connected our last guy. Cutting him. And then let's find this loop is not as pretty as the other ones, but that's okay. I love it just the same. And you can fix that up. I'm going to fix that up just a little bit. Just a little bit. It's fixing. I'm just tightening that around. Okay. And see, I'll just kind of fix that up, right? So here you have all of your stuff here. Our gradients of color, right? Then we're going to connect it there. But first, we are going to do these last 3 pieces. I think they're going to go like this. Okay. And I am going to cut another piece of wire because I want a little bit longer piece because I'm going to be doing this wrapping here. So we need a little bit longer piece of wire. And we're going to make another one of those fun head pins. Okay, that should be plenty. You don't want to cut too much so that it's overwhelming, but you definitely want to cut enough. And this is probably way too much again, but it is what it is. And I'm just going to go ahead and straighten this out a little bit, just holding it with my fingers. Okay, looks good to me. We're going to flush this side. We always want the flush. And we are going to make another knotted head pin. Okay, taking the wire. Is that quite flush? It's not quite flush. I banged up my cutters a little bit, so if I don't cut them in exactly the right spot, they're not flush. Okay. Just going to go ahead and we're just going to start rolling. There we are. Rolling. Now see that wire's peeking back up. Just keep rolling. Keep rolling until you see him come up for the 3rd time. Right? Now we're going to take that wire and we're just going to bend it up. Just like so. Sorry. Just like so. So it will look like this on your tool now. Taking that off of the tool. We got the sock. So we're going to go ahead and bend the leg and put the foot in the sock. Here it goes. This is I understand this is a very long piece of wire. I know it is. Trust me. I know. It's how I feel comfortable. Okay. We're just going to go ahead and we're going to pull that through until we feel that little snap. Ooh, that's pretty. Okay. I'll show you what we have. There we have our little beautiful pin. So we are also going to use some of the rondelles too. We're going to put the rondelles in between the crystals. So when we do that little wire wrapping, it has space, right? It has some space. So let's pick out 3 of these little baby blue crystals. All right. And, right, so we're going to start with our darkest color because that color is going to be on the bottom. And then we are going to do, oh wait, you know what? I just thought of it. We're doing the drop. So we actually have to make this bottom part has to be a loop here. But it doesn't have to, we're going to do a wrap loop, but we're not going to have to connect it to anything. But I forgot we do have to make this a loop. So we're just going to do a small portion, right? And we're just going to bend it over the pliers. I don't need, a lot of wraps here. So 1 or 2 wraps will be sufficient. Over the pliers, rolling our hands, bringing the wire back around, switching out hands and centering that wire. Okay. And take our tools I probably should just use my fingers, but I think that'll be good. And that's perfectly fine. I'm just going to go ahead and cut that. You want to make sure you have at least one wrap on the bottom, because you are going to be wrapping some wire around that when we get down there. So you want to have this little bit of, you know, a little bit of area. All right, so let's try that again. So we're going to go dark blue, our darkest blue. That's our darkest blue, right? Yeah. We're going to do a little baby rondelle, or medium blue, baby rondelle. Cat hair. I think that was a whisker. The light blue, and then the baby rondelle. Okay. So this is what you should have. That beautiful little gradients of color. And I think that looks good. All right. So we are connecting it onto here. Do we use a jump ring? We do not use a jump ring here. Okay. So we're just going to go ahead, and we're actually going to make our loop going the opposite way, because I want this loop to be front facing. And so we're going to connect it, we're going to need a side facing loop. So that's okay. So we're going to go ahead, and this might get a little tricky, the wrapping when everything is together. This is why I haven't connected it to the moon yet. Okay. So you don't need a big giant wrap in here. So we're just going to go ahead. Oh wait, we want it to go the opposite direction. Right? Opposite the direction of this loop. Over that wire. Making sure that is in the right direction. Okay. And then our round nose pliers. Okay. The wire's over. Be careful, because that is a long piece of wire. Bring this back around. Remember, we're not closing it. Taking it off the tool. We're just going to swing that arm open. Okay. And we are connecting this component to this component. All right. Then we have those connected. We are going to take our pliers and close that. So now let's take a look at what we have. So this essentially will be the front. So we want to make sure when we're doing our wraps that we are working, you know, we're putting the wraps in the front, the swirls in the front. So let's go ahead and start our wraps. Now this is going to be the side, right? This is going to be the side. So, but that's okay. Let's just start our wraps in here, right? Should get like 3 or 4. Okay, now we're coming around here. So this is now the front. We're going to take this wire. Sorry about that, guys. And you can take this off the tool now. And we're going to take this wire across the front. Bring that back around. Right now you see why we have that little bit of space. Bring this wire back around to the front. Inside that space. Then bringing this wire back around to the front again. So you're kind of placing these little spirals right, you know, in the same area. And then we're going to go ahead and we're going to take this wire, and like I said, we're just going to wrap it around the bottom, right? Once or twice, however many times you want, just till it's secure. Okay. I probably should have only wrapped it once, actually. Let me just go ahead and cut it over here. And if things bend out of place, that is okay. That's what we have tools for, like this little, because it's, like I said, it's a soft wire. Our tools will just fix that. And then we're just going to come here and fold, put this little piece in here. Right. Just gentle little motions. Okay. There we go. Now we just want to fix up this loop a little. This loop got a little crooked. We're going to fix him up. And you can always take these loops, like we want this loop facing here. And then you can just always take these pliers and make sure that all that is matching. Like this one goes here. Okay. That looks good. All right. So this is what we have. Put that down so you can see it. That's what we have. Now we're going to add our drop. And guys, I have a super cool trick, right? Let me just, this is not to my liking. I have a super cool trick, a little cheat for us when we add this drop. Just a little baby cheat, right? Okay, that's better. All right, so basically we're going to do the same thing with this drop that we did, if I can get the wire, that we did with the drop at the top. We're just going to put a fancy little hat on them. You don't have to if you don't want to. It's completely up to you, but I'm going to put a fancy little hat on him. Okay, so we are going to make another head pin, another knotted head pin. So this will be the third time you've seen this, so hopefully you guys, at least one of these times I've been on camera with it. So go ahead, turn our loop. There it goes the second time. It's just peeking around the corner. See that peeking around the corner? Taking our wire and just bending it up. Just one motion. Right? And then this is what it'll look like. Right. Taking the foot, bending it and putting the foot in the sock. Ba-bam. Wrong hand, Kyle. Ba-bam. Or wrong way, rather. Pulling that until you feel that little snap. Don't barbarian pull it, but okay, I felt the snap. But you will feel a little snap. There it is. And I always do this, guys, just to make sure there's no metal sticking out. Okay, I'm going to put our blue drop on. Was I going to do the trick for this? You know what? It was a different trick I was thinking of. It was the briolette trick. The trick doesn't work with these, but that's okay. That's all right. We don't need a trick. This is easy work. This is easy work. I'm just going to go ahead and like we did before. Sorry. There we are. We're going to bend this over. Like I said, we don't need a huge wrap here. Right? We don't need a huge wrap here. Making our loop. Right. We are not closing that, right? We're not closing it. We could center it a little better. There we go. Okay. Opening that up ever so slightly. And then we are going to attach this bottom portion. Okay. So, and guys, if you are not comfortable with this, if you're new to jewelry making and you would rather use jump rings, absolutely perfectly fine. There's no shame in that. But if you're also new to jewelry making, this might be a good, are we on camera? Okay. This might be a good project that will help you, you know, with doing that kind of stuff with those, you know, basic kind of movements. Right. So now we have to find, this is the front. Okay. All right. So we want to bring this around. Let's see. Do we want to bring it around one more time? Yeah, let's bring that around one more time. Let's bring that wire around. And since this is the front, right, we're going to go ahead and we're going to take that wire and then bring it across the other wire wraps that you just did. And then holding it firmly up here at the top. Go ahead and wrap that around the top. Let's use our tools, Kyle. That's smarter, right? Wrap that right around the top and then around one more. Kind of seal its fate in there. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to cut it. Okay. And then we're going to gently close that. Push him down. Right? So he's not sticking up. Okay. And there you have it. That is what we have. Why are these not sitting nicely? Okay. All right, guys, so there we have this. All right. And we are almost done. We are almost done. Now we just have to connect it with the jump ring, and that's it. So let's take one of our oval jump rings. Guys, I'm sorry if this was a really long video. This is the first time I've ever, we still have to make our top part. But this is the first time I've ever done like this kind of, and it's simple wire stuff, but I'm not a wire person. And so I'm just super nervous and just trying to make sure that I'm just doing everything right. Because I really love this project and I want you guys to make it. I'm just going to open our jump ring. Now on this component, there's some holes down here at the bottom, right? So if you find the largest hole, let me see where it's at. Okay. It's this hole right here, this first big one. This actually, it will look like it's off center, but it's really not. It's very much on center. Okay, and then we're going to connect our work. Make sure you're having everything on the right side. All your swirly bands are on the right side. Okay. Going to go ahead and connect that. Closing that nice and secure. So now we have, this is what we have. Our beautiful gradient. I think it came out so cute. So cute. This might have, oh, there we go. I don't know. I love how it starts out with the crystal and then it goes into the beautiful blues. And yeah, okay. So last but not least, we're going to make a little hanger for this guy. And I'm probably going to have to get another oval jump ring. But that's okay. We'll get that in a second. So I have some bead string wire. So I have some of this soft flex. Because I thought this blue would look really pretty. You're not going to see it. But in my mind, I see it. So, yeah. So, I don't know how much we're going to need. So I'm actually just going to leave it on the spool. Sometimes I do that. But I'm not sure because I don't want to waste anything. So basically we're just going to go ahead and start stringing our rondelles on. Okay. So I'm going to try to do it this fancy way. And hope that it works. Now I don't know, this, guys, so you can put here as many as you want to put on. That is completely up to you. I'm just going to throw a couple on here and just keep going until I get a length that I like. This might take forever. So let me just pause you guys real quick. Okay, friends. So this is what I'm going with. About this much. A couple inches. I would say that's probably about 4 inches. 3 inches. I don't know. But now we can go ahead and cut this. So let's just cut this right here. All right. And we are going to take our crimp tube. And guys, when you do the crimp tube, it is going to be like a little different color, but the jump ring is actually going to settle because of gravity and the way that it is. The jump ring is actually going to settle right where this crimp tube is, and you won't even hardly see it. Okay, so you're going to put this crimp tube on one side. And then you're going to take your other side and you're going to string that through the crimp tube. Through the crimp tube. Oh my heavens. All right. Through that crimp tube. So then you have a wire coming out of either end. Okay. Just go ahead and pull those wires. Okay. And then you'll have the little circle. Now you take your crimping pliers. Now if you have regular crimping pliers, you just make your regular crimp here, and then you can do a crimp cover if you want, or you don't have to, because like I said, that jump ring is going to fall on top of it. So you really won't see it that much. So, you know. Okay, so we're going to, now I use these. These have this little notch here where you put that crimp tube in, and what happens is that notch forms that tube into a ball. Guys, be careful you're not crushing any crystals here. Okay. So now we're going to have like a square. Then we're going to turn it to its side. Then we're going to put it back into that groove. And then we're going to push it again. And then we're just going to kind of twist it around inside of that groove while we're kind of forming this little circle. See what? We're forming a little ball. That's why I love these pliers. They're amazing because you don't have to use crimp covers and it looks so professional, right? All right, so now we have our little ball crimp and we're going to go ahead and cut these. This is a really tiny hanger, guys. I realize that, but just for educational purposes. Okay, and I'm going to have to go grab another jump ring real quick. Okay. Okay. All right. Look at that beautiful color. Let me just go grab a jump ring real quick. Okay. All right. Woozy doozy. Okay. Get one of our jump rings out. Okay. And so we're going to take our pliers into our little jump ring and hopefully not massacre this one like the other ones. Open that up. Just put that right there over top of that crimp where you crimped it. And you're just going to throw your... why do I keep going to the side? I don't know. That's a conversation I need to have with myself. So then we're going to close it. Easier said than done with these things. I never close these things right. There we go. No seams, no gaps. And see what I'm saying? When that falls down, like gravity's going to keep that there. You're not going to really see that. But there we go, friends. There's our project. It took us forever to make, I feel like. But I'm sure it wasn't. I'm sure it wasn't. And here is the original. So yeah, so you can go ahead and you can do the original, you know, with just the little 3 here. And I really do like the addition of the drop. I think it's really pretty. Guys, let me know what you think in the comments. Again, I know I was probably off camera. I apologize. But yeah, let me know what you think, guys. If you enjoyed this, please give my video a like. And if you have not subscribed yet, please subscribe to my channel so I can continue to grow and become motivated to make you guys more and more fun projects. So yeah, until next time, guys, have a great day and happy beading. Bye.